You're watching America's sports leader, NBC.
This is NBA Showtime. Here's your host, Hannah Storm.
Chris Webber of the Washington Bullets entering Gund Arena in Cleveland. The Bullets have played really well lately, winning 18 of their last 25. It's a one-game showdown between the Cavaliers and the Bullets. The winner claims the 8th playoff spot in the East and a date with the Chicago Bulls. Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers are hoping someday to visit the Rose Garden at the White House. But today they'll settle for the Rose Garden in Portland. The Lakers visit the Trailblazers. A Los Angeles win gives them the Pacific Division title and the #2 spot in the Western Conference. Charles Barkley and the Houston Rockets have been very good when healthy, and right now they are pretty healthy. Today they conclude the regular season in San Antonio. A Houston win secures the 3rd spot in the West and, most importantly, gives the Rockets home court advantage through round 2 of the playoffs. We're back with a look at the Western Conference playoff brackets. The only one of these matchups which cannot change today is the Utah Jazz versus the LA Clippers. Phoenix will play Seattle if the Lakers lose today, but the Suns will play LA if the Lakers win. Got that? Okay. So there's plenty on the line today when the Trailblazers host the Lakers in Portland. Should Los Angeles win, not only would they have an easier first-round opponent, presumably, that's Phoenix instead of Portland, they would also avoid Utah in the second round. With the game report, Greg Gumbel is in Portland.
All right, Hannah, thank you. Welcome to Portland, everyone. As Hannah mentioned, a most important game taking place here at the Rose Garden today. And the Los Angeles Lakers will turn to a very experienced voice, guard Byron Scott. 12 postseasons, 3 NBA championships, and here's what he'll say to his mates before the game.
I'll talk to him before the game, make sure that everybody's focused. There's no playing around the locker room. We have to understand that this is the biggest game of the season for us. You know, this is the difference between being the #2 seed or being the #4 seed. Having to play this team again, you know, for the best 3 out of 5 series. A team that's given us a lot of trouble, you know, this year. A team that's just as big as we are, just as strong, just as physical as we are.
Steve Jones, Byron Scott's voice is an important one on such a young Laker team. There's no question the Lakers want this game in a big way.
You're right, Greg. What he says is, I was on the teams that dominated the division, and this will tell the rest of the world that the Lakers are back. They would win the division for the first time since '89. A win today, a quality opponent going down, and the only team they've beaten over 500 has been Seattle, and then they would get to play the Phoenix Suns, who they've dominated this season.
All right, Steve. Bill Walton, the question for you. The Portland Trailblazers, it's written in stone that they're the #5 playoff position. Why is this a big game for them?
Because, Greg, the Blazers, they want the Lakers. They're not like all those sissy teams in the Eastern Conference who are trying to avoid the Chicago Bulls. If they win today, they win the season series against the Lakers. They gain a psychological edge, and they get the Lakers right back. Now, this young, confident, and enthusiastic Blazer team has overcome a lot of off-court problems and front-court injuries. They're ready. They're pumped. Greg, to win the championship, you don't pick your opponents. You line them all up. You knock them down. It starts today for the Blazers.
All right, playoff atmosphere in Portland. Let's go back to you, Hannah.
I think it was fairly obvious with those comments that Bill Walton did play for the Portland Trailblazers. Now, the Lakers are your pick, Peter, to go all the way here out of the West. 4-0 since Shaq's back, so you feeling pretty confident?
Well, confident, maybe convinced. Yeah, since Shaq's back, fresh legs. He's got the, came back with a fury, came back with a passion. He looks more agile, looks like he's been really working on his game since he's been out. Magic Johnson helped him with his free throws, and in one game he was 12 for 14. And Magic says that if Shaq gets hurt again, he's going to help him, or he's going to teach him to be a point guard.
Okay, the third of our regional games today is Houston at San Antonio. Important that the Rockets take care of business today. With a win, they remain in the 3rd spot and a first-round matchup with Minnesota beginning on Thursday. But a loss could drop them to #4 and an opening round matchup with Portland. Tom Hammond and Dan Issel are on the case in San Antonio.
And not only will Houston secure the 3rd spot in the opening round of the playoffs today if they win, but they'll also have the 2nd-best record in the West. That means home court in the 2nd round of the playoffs. So even though they're playing the struggling Spurs, Coach Rudy Tomjanovich is taking nothing for granted.
It's the most important game we've played so far this year. But, you know, we could wind up getting the second best record, or with a loss, drop all the way to 4th. And I think it's just a credit to the team that we're in this position. We've endured a lot of adversity with the injuries, and so many guys stepped up. Some of the guys that aren't in the regular rotation and put us in this position.
And Charles Barkley just telling us that the Rockets have to have the home court advantage in the second round playoff against the Lakers or the Sonics. A loss today, the Rockets drop to 4th, which would mean a first round matchup against the Portland Trail Blazers, a team that won almost 50 games this year.
And for the Spurs, they'll be happy just to get this nightmare season over with. How bad has it been? Well, David Robinson, rehabbing from a back injury, was at the Masters in a very large caddy outfit. When Avery Johnson saw that, he could only look up and laugh.
When I first saw him in his caddy outfit, I said, well, we have 2 caddies because we call Cadillac Henderson caddy. So now we have a caddy and a caddy. That was funny.
Avery Johnson is funny, isn't he? Okay, now, nobody's laughing in Houston these days because, you know what? Once again, here are the Rockets. They're healthy, going into the playoffs. No one's talking about them. Just like in their 2 championship seasons, no one seems to be projecting Houston at this point as a championship contender. What do you think?
Well, preseason, you know, the Rockets were the Chicago Bulls of the West. But they're not unhappy with, you know, where they are right now. I guess it's not really a basketball science issue. It's a health issue with them when they have Olajuwon, Barkley, and Drexler in the lineup. 31 wins, 7 losses, and it allows the other role players, Ellie and Willis and Maloney, to do the job that they were brought in to do.
And if nothing else,
that's really the key. It's just a health issue with them.
Yeah, and these are veteran guys. They're not young, and they're definitely well-rested coming into the playoffs. Now, before we go to a break, a quick update on the WNBA. That's the Women's League, which starts play on June 21st, just after the finals are over. This weekend, college seniors and unsigned veterans with international experience are showcasing their talents at a pre-draft camp in Orlando. There's Cheryl Miller, the coach and GM of the Phoenix Mercury, among those scouting talent for the April 28th draft. And yesterday, the league unveiled the new WNBA ball. And yes, it's a little bit reminiscent, Dr. J and Peter, of the old ABA ball, which was a lot of fun.
I like it. Doc, that's your first assist to me ever. I like the last one, too. First premeditated one, anyway.
Well, that should be a lot of fun to watch on TV. You'll see the trajectory of the ball, and you'll know exactly who you're watching when you see this ball on television. We're looking forward to that season, bringing that to you after the NBA season. And up next, a closer look at the Portland Trail Blazers. They're young, they're talented, and nobody wants to play them in the first round. Back with that after these messages. A year ago, Kenny Anderson's career wasn't exactly on the upswing, but he signed with Portland as a free agent, and he has thrived there. Rasheed Wallace struggled in his rookie year in Washington, barely averaging in double figures, but he too is rejuvenated in Portland and is their franchise player. As the month of February ended, the Blazers were just a game over 500, and newspaper reports surfaced saying the Blazers were getting ready to fire their head coach, P.J. Carlesimo. Well, Portland proceeded to win 11 in a row. They may have saved their coach. They definitely saved their season.
Suddenly the rumor hit P.J. Carlesimo was going to get fired.
Bye-bye, P.J. P.J., bye-bye. Hey, I'm glad to see him go.
And the stories all broke on the East Coast, and, you know, everybody here was asking questions about it, and our people in Portland said, you know, no big deal, don't worry about it.
Well, obviously, P.J. has not been fired, and, you know, as you guys all know, I don't comment on rumors and speculation.
From the outside community, it looked to be more of a story than it was, and it looked to really be a, you know, an obstacle for us to deal with.
Now 6-0 since a couple of newspapers reported that P.J. would be fired.
The winning streak alive. They have now won 10 in a row.
Maybe for P.J., they ought to say you're going to get fired every day if this is what the team is going to respond to.
Every time things have seemed darkest for us, or every time people are getting ready to write us off again, or think that, you know, black clouds over our heads and we're not going to get it done, that's when we bounce back and play well, and we were able to do that again in March.
It took some time, but once we started understanding we have talent and we can play with anybody, confidence started to grow, and we just started playing with more desire to win.
We knew all along that we had a lot of talent, and it just showed us that we were able to put it together and what we were capable of when we put it together and played the way we thought that we could, and we played great during the stretch.
Much of the Blazers' success can be credited to the offseason acquisitions of Kenny Anderson, Rasheed Wallace, and Isaiah Rider, 3 players who arrived with questionable reputations.
We didn't prejudge, they didn't prejudge. We said, let's come in, let's start all over. And I think for all 3 of our new guys who were all in the starting lineup, it's been very positive. I mean, for JR, it's going to be his first time in the playoffs. He's had an excellent year. I think he's put behind him a lot of the things that happened in Minnesota, and he's had a very productive year, and I think he's going to have a great playoffs. For Rasheed, it was a chance to be a starter, play on a regular basis, become more of a go-to guy, get out a little bit from under the shadow of those other great young players they had in Washington, and he's just blossomed, and he's played very, very well.
Rasheed's had a tremendous year over last year, and he's been a great plus for us. Kenny's come in, played great.
Now Kenny on the drive. Beautiful penetration, and Broadway Kenny takes it right down the middle of Broadway.
I love it here. I love it here. It couldn't be a better place for me. And the fans, we play in one of the best arenas, Rose Garden, one of the best owners. It couldn't be a better situation for me. It's only going to get better.
With the playoffs less than a week away, the Blazers' youth will be sorely tested. Of concern, the lack of playoff experience. Veteran Cliff Robinson, who has traditionally struggled in the playoffs, is the only starter to see extensive postseason action.
The only way you can learn the experience is to play, to go through the fire. Ain't nothing Cliff can tell Jermaine O'Neal. Just say it's exciting to be in the playoff.
You'd like to have a little bit more playoff experience, but frankly, I'd like to have the talent and the enthusiasm that we have. Our guys are excited about being in the playoffs.
I'm happy that this is my first playoff experience, but I think if we play hard, stick together, there'll be many more for us.
For all of their youth and talent and enthusiasm and energy, the fact of the matter remains that every starter on this Portland team has been benched at some time this season for disciplinary reasons. Is the volatility a concern going into the playoffs?
Hannah, it's a dangerous team. There's no doubt about that. I don't think there's any opponent in the Western Conference that's saying, hey, I can't wait to get a hold of the Blazers. At the same time, they're very dangerous to themselves. They're so young, they're so fragile, yet so combustible. It's a team that seems to thrive in adversity. It's as if they're saying to themselves, the more disruptive we make things, the more unstable we make things, the better off we'll be. And Isaiah Rider seems to be the biggest culprit.
Yeah, he's missed a couple of practices this week, so obviously he's getting ready for the playoffs. Right. Okay, P.J. Carlesimo, it's still rumored that he may be gone after the season. You spent some time with him, Doc. What's your sense of what he's been able to accomplish this year?
Well, I'm very proud of what he's been able to accomplish, and the league has stood up and taken notice. But I think it's a case of love versus like. I mean, he loves the job, he loves the game, but he just doesn't like some of the things that are associated with the job and the game. And he's been able to handle all of that just like a pro. I think that in PJ's situation, I asked him when I had dinner with him about who his MVP was, and he gave Kenny Anderson some props and Rasheed Wallace, but I think he attaches equal value to all 12 players, a lot like Red Auerbach used to do with the old Celtics.
You know, and through all of this, the Blazers have remained remarkably consistent. They're in the playoffs now for the 15th straight season, and that's the longest string of any team in the NBA. Most of you will see the Blazers host the Lakers as LA tries to win the Pacific Division today. We'll keep you updated on all of the games. Some of you will get the showdown in Cleveland between the Cavs and the Washington Bullets. Winner gets into the playoffs and gets the Bulls. Still others will see the Rockets try to wrap up the 3rd spot in the West. The NBA on NBC continues after these messages from your local station.
This is the NBA on NBC.
On this last day of the regular season in the NBA, welcome to the Rose Garden in Portland, Oregon, the home of the Trailblazers, who entertain the Los Angeles Lakers here this afternoon. The Lakers in search of a Pacific Division championship with a victory. It's our game of the week here on NBC, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers. The Western Conference playoff teams are set. It's just the positioning that needs a little adjustment. If the Lakers win, they claim the #2 playoff position as well as the title. Otherwise, it goes to Seattle. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Portland. Greg Gumbel along with Bill Walton and Steve Jones. What's going to determine this most important season-ending game today? You ask Bill Walton, and you got a hunch that he'll go with the big guys.
Greg, in a league where men are made in the paint, we got two of the absolute best in the NBA going toe-to-toe. You got Shaquille O'Neal healthy, ready to go. He's playing perfect basketball. His game is power, though, and the Blazers have the strength to keep him out of the lane. Shaq will have to shoot the ball. Sabonis, an incredible and creative passer who can find guys, get other guys involved. There's a little bit of history here. One of the earlier games, Shaq injected for the very tough elbow. Now the numbers here, they go to Shaq, but Sabonis has got the victories here. The winner here today will be which big man can control the style and the pace today, Greg. What a matchup.
What a surprise. He thinks it's the big guys, but there's not a bad matchup at the big guard spot, Steve.
Well, it's been the little guys that have ultimately made the difference between winning and losing. For the Los Angeles Lakers, Eddie Jones has been amongst the league leaders in thefts, and he's going to have to do a good job of picking off passes from the guy he's defending, J.R. Ryder. Ryder is an explosive, bruising guard, and if Ryder's on time, the Lakers are in trouble.
All right, Ryder and Eddie Jones, Sabonis, Shaquille O'Neal, we're all set to determine a Pacific Division champion and some playoff positions. Starting lineups in the opening tip when we come back to Portland in just a moment.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By the Ford F-150, strength after strength after strength. And by Reebok, helping athletes perform at the top of their game.
Back in noisy Rose Garden here in Portland, Greg Gumbel, Bill Walton, Steve Jones, the starting lineups for this afternoon's game for the Lakers. Eldon Campbell back and healthy. Robert Horry back and healthy. Shaquille O'Neal back and healthy. Along the front, Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones in the backcourt. Cliff Robinson, Rasheed Wallace, Arvydas Sabonis up front. In the Portland backcourt, Kenny Anderson and Isaiah Ryder. The head coaches, P.J. Carlesimo in his third season as the head man here in Portland. And for the Lakers, Del Harris, his 12th year as an NBA coach, his third with the Lakers. The officials today, Hugh Hollins, Tommy Wood, Greg Willard. We're about ready to go.
Greg, look for a very physical game today. Rebounding will be huge. Which team gets the most shots off that rebounding? Offensively, it's the type of shots. Who can get guys open for wide open shots? Individual one-on-one stuff won't work in a physical game.
You know, the key has been in the series, cheap buckets and three-point shooting. And the team that can get the fast break and make the three-pointer, watch out, Portland has done well at home.
The Lakers come in riding a 4-game winning streak. The Portland Trailblazers with a 3-game winning streak. 11 of 13, 19 of 24. These teams are used to winning lately.
It's safe to say that both teams are red hot as Shaq steals the tip. They got to throw it up higher. They're going to take it away from the Lakers.
You use the appropriate word, stole the tip. He is as pumped up and as fired up about this game as you are. This is a huge game for Shaq and the Lakers. They want to win. They want to set their own destiny.
Kenny Anderson right away down to Sabonis, who goes across the lane and is fouled by Shaquille.
Greg, very few teams will attack Shaquille O'Neal. He is so tough, so talented. But with Sabonis, you got a guy who can score, who can pass, who can run the whole offense. Shaq will be occupied on a constant basis throughout this game.
Arvydas Sabonis, 7'3", 292 pounds, up against Shaquille, who is 7'1", 300 and change.
Shaq told me before the game he's coming in about 310, 311 for this heavyweight bout today.
Earth movers is what they're known as. And where O'Neal hurts Sabonis is when he gets the ball down on the low post and just powers his way back to the basket.
Back across the middle, short hook is in. Since his return 4 games ago, Shaquille O'Neal has absolutely been on fire, averaging 31 points and 10.5 rebounds since his 28-game absence due to the knee problem. Cliff Robinson, top of the key.
Blazers totally focused in. Clifford Robinson suffering a little bit from the stomach flu, but you can just see the concentration and focus in the eyes.
Lakers go right back to Shaquille, and looks like he took a step. He did. Little hop, skip, and a jump on his way to the baseline.
What they like to do is establish Shaquille O'Neal early, and what he has been able to do against Sabonis, get him in foul trouble and just break him down, get them some easy scores, and open up the game from the perimeter.
What a pass. And it goes through Ryder's hands and out of bounds. It'll belong to the Lakers.
Got to catch those. I mean, when they hit you right in the hands.
5-2 lead for Portland, just underway here in the first quarter. Eldon Campbell with his hands on the ball for the first time, gets it back from Horry.
This is the most interesting matchup. Rasheed Wallace, Eldon Campbell. When Campbell has been on, he's been a Blazer killer. Rasheed Wallace is extremely gifted, running the floor, and a lot of energy for Portland.
Pass was behind him for pass Kenny Anderson.
On the move to the basket, Horry misses, rebounds, Sabonis. Racehorse pace early on, back and forth. Ryder into the lane, stops, looks for a way to shoot, can't find it.
Spacing is going to be very important in this game. Some of the biggest players in basketball. Fabulous block, Sabonis.
Back out to Anderson, back he comes. Ryder stops for the short pop.
Sabonis is really making his presence felt on the defensive end. He's intimidating shots, he's blocking shots, he's getting all the rebounds, all Portland early on.
22nd timeout is called, and let's go back to the block by Sabonis. Talking about his defensive abilities.
He's not a great leaper, Sabonis. This time he times it perfectly, turns his body to avoid the foul. Then the fast break opportunity, perfect concentration. Like Clifford Robinson, JR knocks down the jumper.
As we said, this Portland Trailblazer team has been on the move, especially since rumors began to surface about P.J. Carlesimo and his supposed demise. It's something that just never happened, Steve.
If he had known it was going to get those kind of results, he would have said at the start of the season, tell him I'm gone. But the team has responded. P.J. has responded by really becoming a more malleable coach. He's more part of his team, even though it never seems that way. Paul Allen and Bob Whitsitt, the guys that man the top chairs, sitting in one.
Coming up on 9.5 to play in the first, O'Neal and Sabonis will be charged with the foul, and it looked like he got a lot of the basketball on that block.
Where Sabonis is very good is taking the angles away. Because he can't jump, he can get an angle. Now, O'Neal is going to come underneath, but Sabonis is right there on top of the ball. He had no angle for Shaquille O'Neal. O'Neal, who has a new and improved free throw style, up for the first time this afternoon. The numbers for O'Neal since he's come back have been a dramatic improvement. And remember last Sunday, he started with a miss, made a second, had a terrific free-throwing afternoon.
He's 1 out of 2 here today. That makes him 32 for 46 since his return from his injury. It's 70% clip. Sabonis right into the hook.
You can just see Sabonis. This is a great chance for him. A showcase game. He's got it all going. The defense made some beautiful passes. His shooting.
Campbell breaks free for the pass down the lane from Shaq. 9-5 Portland. Kenny Anderson with a 3. Doesn't connect. Rebound off to Eddie Jones. Both these teams a breakneck pace early on.
Well, that's the strength of both of the teams. They like it up and down. They've got big people up front that can score. Back-to-back hoops for Eldon Campbell. 2-point ball game.
Both teams double teaming off the pick and roll. Let's see what the point guards are doing. Neither Anderson nor Van Exel hot offensively to start this game.
Wallace spins and gets fouled by Campbell. Number 1 on Eldon Campbell.
For Van Exel and Kenny Anderson, they're very explosive. They know that they can get into the game at the offensive end anytime. They're going to try to make sure that those big guys get involved. Dale Harris telling Robert Horry, you might have to throw up a shot or two this afternoon from outside.
Rasheed Wallace to the free throw line, where he shoots 64%. This is the number 3 guy in the NBA in field goal percentage. Over his last 5 games, Rasheed Wallace has been a pretty good story. He kind of dipped down against Denver, but otherwise it's pretty good production.
That Denver game was an absolute blowout. Numbers won't mean much in those type of games. I think Rasheed Wallace is the most improved player in the NBA. He's got his team more than any of his other competitors for that prestigious award, competing for the championship.
Averaging about 5 points a game more, and there is the feed for Eldon Campbell.
The key has been Campbell moving without the ball. If he doesn't move without the ball, then you're able to double team. Shaq's hit him the last 2 times. Nice pass.
Robinson backs Horry in, and then the short jump hook.
The last 2 times the Blazers have gone deep on the low left box. Robinson and Wallace maybe a little bit too low.
Campbell. And Eldon Campbell making his presence known. 8 points already here. We still have 7:45 to play in the first. It's a 1-point lead for the Blazers.
Eldon using superior strength and experience against second-year player Rasheed Wallace here.
Sabonis for 3. Doesn't go. Rebound to Campbell. And the Lakers come back with the ball looking for the lead.
They're going to drive everything through Shaq and see how the Trailblazers respond. From this side of the floor, that's how you can control them. Sabonis, let him get baseline, comes up with 2.
That's pretty quick for a 310-pound man.
Greg, Shaq was well aware that Sabonis is a terrific player and solid as a big Douglas fir tree up here in the Northwest. He knows he has to move around him. What a pass.
Nice pass to Rasheed Wallace. Blazer back on top by 1.
The big Blazer forwards are still setting up too close to the baseline. No need for the Lakers to double team down there. The baseline is your defensive ally.
O'Neal spins, comes up short. Sabonis reaches over him and takes the rebound away. Kenny Anderson all the way to the basket.
Shaq's calling for it right here to dump it inside.
Well, this is the side of the floor that Shaq likes to work on. He likes to bring the ball across the middle or spin back, have the ball knocked away.
Anderson fouled by Van Exel at midcourt. And we'll have a stoppage of play. 16-13, Portland Trailblazers doing everything right so far. Clifford Robinson with the nice pass and an even nicer one by Sabonis. And then Kenny Anderson at full speed right at you for 2 points. It's a 3-point Portland lead. Trailblazers lead the Lakers by 3, 6:17 to play in the first quarter. Working the sidelines with us, Mr. Paul Sunderland. Paul.
All right, thank you, Mr. Greg Gumbel. We've already seen some interesting matchups inside, but out at the point guard position, it's pretty compelling as well. Nick Van Exel hobbled now by a sore left knee, trying to stay in front of Kenny Anderson, and Kenny's already had the better of the first 3 matchups, so the Lakers very, very concerned about he going off again. You saw him go the length of the floor. So if Nick can't stay in front of Kenny Anderson, look for Eddie Jones to move over and take Kenny Anderson, and then 18-year-old rookie Kobe Bryant to come in because of his size, play some defense down on the block against J.R. Rider. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Paul, thanks. Nick Van Exel scores fewer on the average than does Kenny Anderson, but Van Exel hands out about twice as many assists. Take a look at the numbers. Kenny Anderson, 21.7 points a game.
A lot of the assists for the Blazers, though, go through Sabonis. He is such a great passer and playmaker.
Wallace trying to make a save, but they closed off Sabonis, and he didn't have any angle, so the Lakers now thinking about double teaming.
Horry with the lead for Shaq.
Shaq gets so many buckets in transition, and against Sabonis, he's going to have to do more of that because most of Shaq's opponents, they just crumble when Shaq lowers that battering ram shoulder and head into him. Not so with big Sabonis.
All of the Laker points Shaquille O'Neal and Eldon Campbell so far. Shaquille has 8, Campbell has 7. Wallace open jumper. And Sabonis comes down with it. Wallace lost it and then kicked it.
And it was a little bit quick for Wallace to handle the pass, but this is right on time, and you've got to be on Robert Horry and Shaquille O'Neal, otherwise the results are 2 over the top.
And Greg, Sabonis...
No, that would be Steve over there.
Okay.
We know you get a little dizzy on your return to Portland. 5:15 to play, first quarter. Campbell lost it on the dribble, kicks it back to Van Exel, who saves it. Shot clock is at 3. Horry down low, and it gets away. Shot clock violation.
Both teams exhibiting a little anxiety, a little nerves, telling us just how big the game is, not only for the players, but the coaches. Del Harris looks calm, but I guarantee you, there's a volcano brewing over there.
Well, how about getting the ball to Sabonis in the high post and let him hit one of these duck-in forwards or JR down in the low post?
Kenny Anderson has 4.
Good screen, Sabonis. Shaq, as we saw last week, he won't step out and help too much there.
This has been a first quarter dominated by 2 guys on the Laker offensive end. Shaquille O'Neal, Eldon Campbell. Campbell with 10 1/4, and all of them cutting to the basket.
Campbell with 10.
All the Laker points for the big
7.
guys, which is a great way to establish your dominance down inside. The other guy just not getting any opportunities.
Wallace fouled on his way up, and that one will be against Campbell.
Over the years, though, balance has always prevailed against 2 or 1 great player, and Portland has a very balanced attack, and the Lakers are going to have to bring in Van Exel, Jones, and Horry at some point to be a factor in this game.
Travis Knight coming into the game to replace Campbell, who will sit down with his second personal.
Blazers have 6 men that average in double figures. It's one of the deepest teams in all the NBA.
Here is Travis Knight, the rookie out of the University of Connecticut, signed as a free agent.
He has been a thorn in the side of the Trailblazers. He knows how to play with Shaq. He just keeps moving without the ball. You know, you look at the guy, he's kind of taken for granted. It doesn't look like he's going to stand up, but he has learned how to take the physical abuse, and he's going to be in the game.
3 rookies on this Laker team. Travis Knight, Derek Fisher, Kobe Bryant. We will probably see all of them today. O'Neal had it taken away. Kenny Anderson helping out on the double team, and Anderson pushes it in a hurry. Robinson to the baseline, back for Ryder. Open. Around and out, rebound to O'Neal, and here come the Lakers. Van Exel to Eddie Jones on the move.
First basket for the Lakers in transition. Those 2 guys are whippets, and when they can get out there, that's when they can do some damage. So Portland's got to make sure they have balance after a shot goes in the air. Ryder's deep.
When you got the high post man, Sabonis dumping it down in, delivering the ball on the money every time. Guys like Isaiah Ryder, Wallace, Clifford Robinson, they can have a field day.
Van Exel for 3. Off the mark, Travis Knight there for the offensive rebound, but his hook comes up short. You know, we're talking about, I said we probably will see Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant, although Del Harris telling us last night that he's probably going to have to cut down some minutes on some guys who are used to playing more than they will as the postseason comes along.
What a spin.
Greg, ideally, your rotation, you want it to be 8 men, but if everybody is playing well, you can play more guys. The key is to get the ball to your top player time and time again, all game long, all playoff long.
Robert Horry open for 3 and hit it.
That's the Horry spot. He's one of the great angle 3-point shooters. You can't let him get into a little rhythm because he's one of those guys that timely with 3-point shooting brings the Lakers back in.
2.5 to play, first quarter, 24-22 Portland. Kenny Anderson off the screen from Sabonis. Chases it down, blocked from behind by Eddie Jones, and that'll belong to the Trailblazers. And we'll take time with 2:23 to play in the first. 24-22 Trailblazers. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Portland leading the Lakers with 2:23 to play in the first. Think you know your hoops? Starting tomorrow on NBA.com, the official website of the NBA. Put your knowledge into action by playing NBA.com's playoffs pick and roll game. Over 60 prizes will be awarded to fans who collect the most points by predicting the teams they think will win each playoff series. Registration closes Thursday, April 24th, so make your picks early and roll on to great prizes only on your ultimate online playoffs resource, NBA.com.
O'Neal goes down as well as Sabonis, and both coaches make a couple of critical substitutions. Sean Rooks in the ball game, Chris Dudley for Portland, Gary Trent for the Trailblazers.
Cliff Robinson forces one up.
Terrific defense by the Lakers.
And a traveling violation is called on Eddie Jones before he can get the timeout call.
Now, Eddie Jones got a break before the timeout when he got away with the pin on Kenny Anderson, trying to call timeout, doesn't get a break. They always even out if you play the game long enough. Portland with the new 24.
Turnovers are even at 5 apiece now. And we have 2:10 to play in the first.
For Portland, it's getting low post scoring from Gary Trent against Travis Knight.
J.R. Ryder, top of the key for 3, 27-22.
The Blazers have so many different offensive weapons. You can't gear your defense to any one particular guy.
Eddie Jones wide open for 3. Ryder fell down. He aired that one.
Blazers doing a better job on the boards right now, and Nick Van Exel is playing very tentative today.
This first quarter has been driven by offensive excellence and execution. Both teams making great reads and passes. Tough shot by Trent, had no place to go.
Gary Trent found the bottom of the backboard.
Trent has been a magnificent performer for the Blazers as they've surged and come together this spring. Just doesn't seem ready or sharp for this game the way Clifford Robinson was to start.
But if Trent can get where he just was, down in the low post, he's a very dangerous and unstoppable player. Percentage is extremely hot for both teams, and that means that the offense has really done their job. Defense are going to have to start making them play outside in.
Van Exel doesn't get it, and that one will be over the top. That goes against Travis Knight.
Now, if you're Portland right here, well, they're going to the foul line right now, but with the lineup that they have, they should be posting up Gary Trent, posting up Isaiah Ryder, posting up Clifford Robinson, get him in deep, punish this second unit of the Lakers, make hay while Shaq's on the bench.
Gary Trent can break a scoring streak here. Isaiah Ryder has scored the last 7 Portland points.
But you look at the scoreboard and you see that the Blazer balance is what's gotten them the lead as everything gets hush-hush here at the Rose Garden.
Sabonis, who had 3 assists to Shaq's 1. Shaq had him in the points 7-4. Rebounds a slight edge to Sabonis 4-1.
Trent misses the second. Still, the Blazers have their biggest lead of the day at 28-22 as we come up on 65 seconds to play in the first quarter.
This has really been the way that the series has gone in the 3 previous matchups. Both teams very aggressive, knowing that it's a fairly even contest, and it's a psychological battle. Portland with the edge right now.
These teams first met in December. The Lakers with a 120-119 win in overtime. They met twice in January. The Lakers lost 88-84 and then lost 102-98. Kobe Bryant onto the floor now for the Lakers.
And Shaq has played all 4 games now and has had huge numbers in each.
Brooks over Dudley.
The forgotten man is going to have an impact on this game because Elvin Campbell undoubtedly is going to have some sort of foul problem. They're going to need another low post score. If Sean Rooks can deliver like that, then the Lakers, they have a chance of pulling off a victory. Ryder.
Away from the double team, comes up short. Dudley beats Trent.
Rebounding again, it all seems to be the Blazers right now, but what a terrific post-up move by J.R. Ryder. And the Lakers now, as they play for 1 shot, they're going to use Sean Rooks much more than Eldon Campbell as the backup center.
Van Exel on the move. Shot to pocket 2. Van Exel forces and got it.
That is Van Exel at his best. You know, when he's not supposed to make it in difficult situations, Van Exel delivers it good.
A quiet first quarter for Nick Van Exel, but he finishes off the period with his first 2 of the afternoon. It won't be the easiest shot he's hit all day, but Nick Van Exel clicks for his first 2, 30-26 after 1. We'll be back for the start of the second quarter in just a moment.
The NBA on NBC. The game of the week.
Shaquille O'Neal back off the Laker bench to start the second quarter. Portland leading it by a score of 30-26 as we begin period number 2 here at the Rose Garden. And Shaq's shot chart. Makeable shots, Bill.
That's the type of game you'd like to see for Shaq, but you want to have more shot attempts. Today, the head-to-head matchup, Sabonis and Shaq. I think Shaq needs a lot more attempts there. I wouldn't be surprised if they come right at him with Dudley guarding him.
Derek Fisher and Jerome Kersey also on the floor with Shaq, Kobe Bryant, and Travis Knight. Del Harris with 3 rookies on the floor as Shaq misses. And the rebound pulled down by Trent and then fouled by Knight.
Knight wanted a jump ball, but remember in that first quarter, Shaq did a great job of getting Eldon Campbell involved by passing the basketball, 10 points. So, I mean, he was doing his job when the man was open. He's become a better passer. For the Lakers, they're going to have to get more than one chance at the hoop. Portland doing a good job on the glass early.
Stacey Augmon onto the court for the Blazers, and Dudley's hook. He draws a foul from Shaquille O'Neal.
Now, those are the kinds of fouls that Shaquille O'Neal cannot afford to give up. Sabonis can score. You know that. Dudley does not have the reputation of a scorer. So find out whether he's going to score and let him swing that hook across the middle.
Especially a fadeaway hook. I mean, we're not talking about Jabbar.
Chris Dudley,
we're not talking about Sabonis.
Chris Dudley, a career 46% shooter from the free throw line. Not his specialty.
In your face.
Thank you, Chris.
But Chris, one of the great citizens, one of the leaders of this Blazer team that at times appears without an on-court leader.
Short with that one.
There's that rebounding for more shot attempts.
Robinson off the mark from 3, and Kobe Bryant with the rebound. And Bryant in midair lost it. Robinson ahead for Anderson.
Been Kenny Anderson's day from the backcourt.
You would expect that Kenny Anderson would have a big afternoon. His mother's here, first time she's seen him play all year. O'Neal overpowering Dudley.
And Chris Dudley with an evil eye toward the nearest official.
Shaq spins so quickly. I think better and quicker than any big man in the history of basketball, and keeps both hands on the ball. Shaq does not need to fight Dudley for position down there. Just let him have it, let him shoot it.
Knight comes over for a double team. Augmon on the drive. O'Neal has it. Here come the Lakers.
What will allow the Lakers to get back in the game is players trying to do too much. Augmon trying to make a tough shot. Kobe Bryant draws a foul.
Oh, what a quick first step by Kobe Bryant.
Foul number 2, Stacey Augmon.
Foul is on Augmon. That's number 1.
Foolish defense here by the Blazers as they force Kobe Bryant left. They reach in and foul. Why? There's so much size, so much strength by both teams in the front court. Don't ever foul down low here, especially on a man going left, bailing him out. Lakers have become a terrific free throw shooting team over the last 30 games. They're third in the league, the Lakers, in free throw attempts per game behind Philadelphia and Utah.
Lakers 3 out of 4 from the line here today. Portland 7 of 10. 33-30. And 10:15 to play here in the first half.
They're going to try to double Kenny Anderson, but if you're going to get an advantage, you got Stacey Augmon against Kobe Bryant down on the low box. Rasheed Wallace trying to get the third foul against Eldon Campbell.
Wallace, quick glimpse at the shot clock. Jump hook is good. Rasheed Wallace. 7 points for him this afternoon and a 5-point Portland lead.
Rasheed telling me he's going to have to use his quickness against Eldon Campbell, who's so big and so strong down there.
Shaq calling for the ball, and Dudley got a little help from Kenny Anderson.
Anderson for Augmon. What a terrific bounce pass from Kenny Anderson on the move.
And Kobe Bryant reached out and grabbed Stacey Augmon's uniform behind. Should have been a three-point play with the foul. Del Harris searching on that bench for some answers.
Well, he grabbed him in midcourt. He was trying to drop the break, and they didn't see it.
Good rotation there by Rasheed.
Fisher sneaks inside, won't fall for him. Here comes Portland. Anderson for Augmon.
Augmon's best when he can get into the open court. Kersey with a steal.
Jerome Kersey on the move, got the basket and the foul. And Chris Dudley, fishing for a tee here, is not going to get it. He cools off.
Well, the reason he's upset, Jerome Kersey initiated the contact. He came in, bang, with his shoulder, and then the finish. But this is a terrific play by Kersey. The ball is on the floor. He's one of the last guys to start after it, but typical Kersey, he never gives up. Now watch the hit. Bang!
11 years here in Portland. Jerome Kersey
on NBC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By American Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles, motorcycles, and power equipment. And by Prescription Strength Lotrimin AF for athlete's foot. It's the killer cure.
Welcome back to Portland, Oregon. What'd you say those were, Bill?
That's Multnomah Falls out on the Columbia River Gorge. It's Jerome Kersey battling for playing time. You mentioned earlier Del Harris, the struggle that he's going to have to do, but terrific contributor. The wild thing for the Lakers off the bench. 11 seasons here in Portland. Fabulous numbers there this season with the Lakers. Minutes down, but still a key contributor for Del Harris and the Lakers.
And always a fan favorite here, Bill. Steve.
No, he has always been, and the trademark of Jerome Kersey was evident in that last play. Hustle, energy, making the play when no one else probably could. He can't finish the free throw. That's also been a trademark.
But he's one of those guys, Kersey, that you love to play with. He never stops moving. Trap here by the Lakers. That's tough because Sabonis can distribute.
Gary Trent along the baseline makes it a 7-point lead for the Blazers at 39-32.
All the big guys in this game handling the ball superbly today.
Portland and the Lakers both staying in the high percentage area. Eldon Campbell.
We talked about this is where the men are made, right down low.
Campbell goes right back at it, misses again, tap no good. Rebound Kersey, blocked out of bounds by Rasheed Wallace. And Kersey down to a knee. Foul is on Wallace.
Pushing and shoving everywhere. Sabonis can't believe.
So wait,
he couldn't get a call.
Wait, are you saying that the rite of passage for basketball players is in the paint? If you can't play down there, you don't graduate?
That's where they distribute the championship rings down there.
Jerome Kersey gathering himself. Decides he doesn't need any additional help, and he'll go to the free throw line.
You talked about Jerome's contribution here to this Blazer franchise. Yesterday talking about it when he was teamed up with Drexler and Terry Porter and Buck Williams here, largely responsible for the building of this magnificent new building, the Rose Quarter.
He actually said he kind of helped build this place, and it'd be nice to get back to it.
He was one of the first guys in the NBA to have his picture painted on the side of a building downtown in his home city.
Kersey gets both of those free throws and brings the Lakers back to within 5, but they're going to try some pressure now to try to force some mistakes.
Kersey with another steal. And on the move, can't get it to fall. Rumeal Robinson back for Portland.
Yeah. With Portland, with this group out on the floor, Trent, Sabonis, and Wallace are going to have to be the scorers, and the Lakers are going to try to pressure, make other people take shots.
Rumeal Robinson, his first basket of the day. 41-34. We come up on 7:45 to play here in the first half.
Again, the depth, Greg, of this Blazer team. Shaq able to get around Sabonis.
Before the shot went up, whistle blew on the baseline.
Rumeal Robinson is the guy. Now, Rumeal Robinson ended the season last year playing for the Trailblazers. Trailblazers don't pick him up. The Lakers do. Then he gets traded to Phoenix, and Phoenix lets him go. They got too many guards, comes back to the Trailblazers. That's been the kind of 12 months that Rumeal Robinson has had.
That addition of Rumeal Robinson takes the distinction away from the Blazers of being the youngest team in the league. Imagine if they signed Walton again. Number 2 on Wallace.
Second foul against Wallace, so he and Campbell both even in that department, and that's going to be critical for both teams, which can keep the guy alive.
Eldon Campbell, who it is widely said really came into his own when Shaquille O'Neal went out for that 28-game stretch, and some of the pressure came to light on his shoulders.
Greg, he woke up. He had a very slow start to this season after the huge contract he signed in the offseason, and really didn't get comfortable in going until Shaq went out, and he got all the opportunities. Now he has to learn and has shown that he can play in a dual tandem with Shaq.
Jerome Kersey has just left the Laker bench and headed for the locker room. We saw he was in some distress his last time. Meanwhile, back to the action on the court. Trent with the turnaround. Nice shot by Gary Trent.
If you give Gary Trent that much time to back his way down, the Shaq of the match is going to score. That's his strength right there.
Blazers are living good here, playing fine without Kenny Anderson and without Isaiah Ryder. Quick hands down low.
Shaq on the floor, scramble for the ball, whistle blows, and the foul is on Shaquille O'Neal.
That's your life flashing in front of your face right there, Greg. Third foul on Shaq with a loose ball in midcourt. And you see the biggest, most powerful man in the league coming right at you. You might want to pull out of that one.
Del Harris trying to impress upon his troops the importance of this game. 43-36. Portland in the lead with 6:53. If the playoffs were to begin today, the Lakers would be in the number 4 playoff position and would play Portland. That would happen if Portland wins this game, if Houston wins at San Antonio. Seattle is finished for the season. Otherwise, if the Lakers rally to win this game, they would displace the Sonics as the number 2 team in the Western Conference. Steve, you maintain over and over again the Portland Trailblazers want to play these Lakers in the first round.
They've had such good success, and they feel so good about themselves playing. The first half is an indication. They've had their balance working for them. So, yeah, they win today. They're sending a message saying, not only did we close you out when you had a chance to win the championship, we're coming down to take you down. And that 4-5 matchup has always been a very even one first round.
Sabonis down low, hammered by Robert Horry.
Shaq has to go to the bench with the 3 fouls. Foolish dive by the big man for the Lakers. And now it looks like Los Angeles will have to play the rest of the half with their main man on the bench. Horry has to foul.
Well, remember what Del Harris told us about the Phantom of the Opera. Well, he's just going to substitute Eldon Campbell and make him become the main player. We'll see if Sean Brooks and Campbell can be as effective as O'Neal and Campbell were for 6 minutes.
What was it that he said about the Phantom of the Opera?
He said he didn't know who that guy was until they told him.
Where do they play?
Says so right in the program. Yeah. 6.5 to play. 44-36. Robert Horry open for 3. No. Rebound Wallace.
The Lakers, I believe, are the most athletic team in the NBA, but in this first half, the Blazers have outquicked them and out-hustled them.
More athletic than what you've seen from Portland?
Wallace, tough shot, falls, and Campbell with the loose ball.
But Shaq is, the difference, Steve, would be Shaq being more athletic than Sabonis.
Van Exel on the move, and he got fouled. Let's check in with Paul Sunderland. We saw Jerome Kersey leave the court. Paul.
Yeah, he's back in the Laker locker room with trainer Gary Vitti. Got poked very hard in the eye. We waited outside for as long as we could. He did not come out as yet. Expected to return. We'll get an updated report for you as soon as we can. Headed back into the locker room area now.
All right, Paul, thank you. Nick Van Exel at the line.
A very quiet day here for Nick Van Exel. Kenny Anderson has owned Nick, who I think is really bothered by that knee. I asked him about it in the locker room before the game. He said, Bill, I don't want to talk about it. I just got to go with what I have. We saw last week Stockton just torch Nick Van Exel. He's getting lit up again today.
5:55 to play.
Against pressure, the key is passing. You pass the ball, cut to the basket, you get wide open shots. Ryder coming to the rim. Tough shot.
Got the ball. Ryder has 11.
Why take JR out? He's one of those explosive guys who loves the big game atmosphere, a chance to maybe prove himself and redeem himself. Quick hands to Sabonis again, poking it away.
Let's go back to Isaiah Ryder on his move across the lane.
J.R. Ryder is one of those guys that relishes big games and loves tough shots. You can't make this one any tougher. Going away, gets a good bounce.
Eddie Jones short, Sabonis with the rebound. Here comes Anderson in a hurry.
Blazers winning the battle of the boards by 4. The numbers, it just seems like a lot more than that.
Trailblazers right now more alert and active than the LA Lakers, trying a slick pass on the baseline. No room for Sabonis or Ryder. They turn it over.
Lakers have missed their last 6 field goal attempts from the floor.
You know, you're talking about a place to break the game open. Right now for the Trailblazers with 5:12 to go, and the Lakers struggling. Time to try to spread it and get a big lead.
And Shaq in foul trouble. Eldon Campbell just doesn't have the presence that Shaq has. Few people do.
Double pump by Van Exel doesn't work. Anderson back in a hurry into the basket.
Nick Van Exel never even got back defensively.
Kenny Anderson putting on a show here, and Del Harris wants timeout. 4:43 to play here in the first half. The Portland Trailblazers with a 48-38 lead. Kenny Anderson looking like Jets. The Portland point guard has been the impetus for the Trailblazers today, who lead it by 10. Good times here in Portland so far. 4:43 to play first half. Portland with a 10-point lead on the Lakers, and it has been spurred by point guard Kenny Anderson, who is having himself a pretty good day at Nick Van Exel's expense. Anderson 4 of 7 from the floor with 8 points and a couple of assists, while Van Exel has managed just 4 points and a single assist. For Anderson, the shots have been pretty close in, and many of them on the break. Anderson showing a sterling example of that just before the last timeout. How about the scouting report on it?
Kenny Anderson is a kind of player that it can explode, and the reason that he's capable of doing it, if you see the comparison for this season, is foot speed and quickness. Eddie Jones, quickly.
Brooks put back again and fouled. Foul is on Sabonis.
Greg, when teams really come together, second foul now on Sabonis. When teams come together, they know how to cover for their big guys who, Sabonis that time, or Shaq, whoever it is, when they go for that block, the little guys have got to come in and clean up the garbage. Nobody does it better in the NBA of forcing the miss and getting the rebound than Hakeem down for the Rockets. But Sabonis doing it today well, and he'll have to go to the bench as Dudley checks in.
You mean to say that those big guys need help from the little guys?
Well, carrying their bags and laying the uniform out, making sure they got the right shoes for the day.
Sabonis to the bench with 2. Shaquille on the bench with 3. Rooks hit. And the lead is 8 at 48-40 as we come up on 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half.
For the Lakers, they've got to make the Trailblazers a perimeter team and stop them from getting high percentage shots. Portland working with Wallace.
Wallace losing control on the way across the middle. Campbell with the good defense.
Not enough movement in the Trailblazer offense. They're giving it to one guy, and they're standing there watching.
Lakers have not scored from the floor in the last 5 minutes. Van Exel puts a stop to that. That's a 3.
5 points for Van Exel, but he's capable of getting hot and flashing for 15 and a quarter, and a lot of them three-point shots. They go back to a real tough matchup for Eddie Jones.
Rasheed Wallace wide open.
The Lakers coming down to double team. Eddie had him completely under control. That's just given the type of Blazers, or it's given the Blazers the type of shots that they need.
Van Exel drew the foul from, looks like Dudley.
Again, we're seeing why the Lakers are the third best free throw attempt team in the NBA.
Quick first step, though. Now, we've been talking a lot about the fact that Kenny Anderson has had the edge at the offensive end, but Van Exel really hasn't been looking to score. Last 2 attempts, no Shaquille O'Neal in the ball game. Van Exel decides, well, guys, it's Nick time, and puts on the Jets, gets a three-pointer and across the lane. If he gets this free throw, he'll have the same number of points as Kenny Anderson.
Well, we're going to get an O'Neal in the game, but it's Jermaine O'Neal, number 5, the rookie out of Eau Claire High School in Columbia, South Carolina, comes into a great deal of fan applause.
They love Jermaine O'Neal up here. He is the youngest player in the NBA. Kobe Bryant, the second youngest. And they have talked about what it's like to be 18 playing for a good team.
I just kind of like to talk about what it means to be 18.
Mismatch. Robinson against Van Exel right at the hoop.
Blocked and fouled by Eddie Jones. That'll be number 1 on Jones.
You don't remember what it was like to be 18? That was just yesterday for me.
I have pictures.
Kobe Bryant to the line, dying to get into this game. No real opportunity, no playing time there.
Robinson makes the first. Boy, between Jermaine O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, baby boomers extraordinaire out on the floor today.
2 youngest players in the history of the NBA coming at it. You see the numbers, 4 minutes for Kobe Bryant, but really that's not enough numbers for either guy to really make it happen.
But they're both extremely talented and are going to be around for years. We'll be talking about them for a long time. Van Exel missed.
Force out of the corner, steal by Jones. Jones behind the three-point line and then waits for the setup.
Become a defensive struggle here. Deldon Campbell has disappeared offensively for the Lakers.
Types of shots, though, have changed for the Lakers. They're now playing way out on the perimeter. The Trailblazers still able to get some medium-range looks, and down in the low post, they're looking for J.R. Rider against Eddie Jones.
Rider pushed by Jones. Meanwhile, as you saw on the screen, Washington leading Cleveland, San Antonio with a slight lead on the Houston Rockets. There's Jerome Kersey back from the locker room and looking like he's ready to go again.
Jerome's one of the most durable players, one of the toughest players in the history of the NBA. The Lakers, Eddie Jones is doing a good job. He picks up his second foul. They're sending Isaiah to the line. But he's keeping Ryder in front of him. No need for the Lakers to double team yet.
Kersey poked in the right eye, and he was treated, and he's ready to go. We're happy to say. Meanwhile, Ryder, the second of 2, and he hits it. He has 13 points.
The Blazers hit a period of being in the doldrums when they had Kenny Anderson and Isaiah on the bench. They're clicking now, though. Terrible pass.
The lead is picked off by Travis Knight.
Right idea, but Isaiah Ryder is no Kenny Anderson in quick speed and quickness.
Ryder to Robinson, and the lead for O'Neal. Back down court, Eddie Jones as the Lakers turn it into 2 at the other end.
Ideally, this is the pace that both teams would like. Whip if you can get it. That way you can keep everybody involved. But the Trailblazers right now with more athletes, better scoring out on the floor.
And better discipline. They're getting to their post-up game. They have more weapons down low, Steve.
O'Neal, he spins, got fouled as he went up. And O'Neal will go to the free throw line. Jermaine O'Neal.
The Lakers have lost all sense of offensive discipline here. They started the game pounding it inside. Eldon Campbell was delivering. He had 10 first-quarter points on 5 for 6 shooting. Second quarter hasn't made a bucket. Now we see Jermaine O'Neal, who's put on 15 pounds this season as an 18-year-old rookie in that weight room already.
When your jackhammers are sitting on the bench, you can't get it pounded inside, and that's the problem. So you've got to be able to come up with a little bit more versatile game, and maybe now they have to open up the game that Shaquille O'Neal, Eldon Campbell are both on the bench.
D'Antonio Winfield off the bench for Portland, and into the game for the Lakers, Byron Scott and Jerome Kersey.
This is where Del Harris goes when things all fall apart for the Lakers. Goes to his veterans, the guys who have been there. The numbers for Byron Scott and Jerome Kersey don't tell the tale of their contributions.
Boy, with all the youngsters on this team, it was fun talking with both Jerome and Byron last night, wasn't it? O'Neal comes up way short, but Clifford Robinson has the rebound.
Byron and Jerome, they have the history. They have the leadership. He's in. Come catch this. That's the beauty of it, Greg. When your shot's going down, there is nothing they can do, no matter how big they are.
59-45 Blazers. A minute 15 to play in the first half. Brooks lost it and got fouled. Let's go back to Cliff Robinson.
Cliff Robinson is one of the last links to Trailblazer greatness, and he can remember when the Lakers used to be the cats of the division, and he's bringing some heat, but also trying to defend against Sean Rooks. He thought he got fouled.
I just don't see the foul there. When you lower your shoulder, you give an offensive man such an advantage. Sean Rooks, who has really made a positive contribution over the last 3 weeks to this Laker team.
In our conversations last night with Byron Scott, Steve, you were pointing out what a Portland killer he has always been, particularly in this city.
For some reason or another, no matter what condition Byron Scott's game was in, when he came to Portland, it got well. I mean, he has shot well in Memorial Coliseum. He's here in the Rose Garden. He loves playing against the Trailblazers and always sticks it to him. Ryder.
With Scott on it. Lost it off of his foot.
Blazers just too quick again.
Anderson up with the shot, no, picked off by Travis Knight. Outlet for Byron Scott. He still has the shot here in Portland.
Even if it's a layup.
The Blazers' backcourt coverage and floor balance has been atrocious here late in the second quarter.
Lakers looking for something to send them off to the locker room with a little bit of good feeling. 30 seconds to play here. 59-48 is the score.
They've gotten themselves in trouble with switching and getting big little, and that's given Portland a chance to find somebody with ball movement. They turn it over as the ball bounces off Jermaine O'Neal.
Blazers playing a lot of guys here. Tough for these 10th, 11th, and 12th men like Wingfield and O'Neal to get any sort of rhythm.
Lakers with a chance to cut the deficit to single digits before the half. 10 seconds to play here in the first half.
Well, again, in this situation, Van Exel has been great throughout his career. He makes a lot of tough shots.
Van Exel lost control, had to throw it up, and that'll do it for the half. It was a big, big first half for Isaiah Ryder and the Portland Trailblazers. The Blazers win this game. They must meet the Lakers in the first round. We'll send you to Hannah Storm and for an initial halftime report right after this.
Steve, it all fell into place, though, for the Blazers as they came out and shot magnificently. They controlled the backcourts. Championship teams, they know how to finish. Confidence, poise, a sense of purpose down the stretch. Tell them to just run, 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 make them quit.
All right, Paul Sunderland is standing by with Del Harris, the head coach of the Lakers. Paul.
All right, Greg, Del, obviously a real struggle in the second quarter. What did you tell the team at the half, and what adjustments as we look forward to the third quarter?
Well, we have to be more aggressive. We're losing the muscle game, and we have to move the ball. Ball movement is what takes care of most of your offensive problems. So we got to get into their 60% field goal shooting, be tougher physically, and like I told them, I said, this team we're playing for a championship. They're playing like they want to win this game so that they can play us next week. I mean, this has got to get to your pride.
Thought Shaquille O'Neal in foul trouble with 3. Do you change his matchup? You know that Chris Dudley and Sabonis are going to go right at him.
Well, that's all right. I mean,
Not too worried about that matchup.
No, well, we just got to play. I mean, you can't go out and play scared. You've got to go play. And, you know, we've got other guys, but, you know, Shaq doesn't foul out of many games. He knows how to play, and, you know, I think that part will work out. Again, we've been a good second-half team. We've risen to a lot of these occasions. And today is a big one for us because we would like to win the championship, even though it doesn't really give you much of anything.
Okay, thank you very much, Del. Appreciate it. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Paul, take a look at the Miller Lite halftime statistics. First of all, for the Lakers, Eldon Campbell with 2 personals, 12 points on the board. Shaquille O'Neal with 3 personals has 9. Nick Van Exel with 7. Eldon Campbell has been the leading scorer so far in the first half, though. 5 of 9 from the floor and has been in pretty good position. For the Portland Trail Blazers, Isaiah Ryder has 13. Rasheed Wallace and Cliff Robinson with 9 apiece, contributing to their total of 59. And for J.R. Ryder, 5 of 7 from the floor. He has had himself an outstanding first half. Well, Jim Wilhite III missed a $1 million shot out here, but when it came for the half-court $100,000 shot, with that shot, he became Bill Walton's new best friend. He already has Walton's home phone number. We're back for the start of the second half in just a moment. In the 3 previous meetings between the Lakers and Portland, the team which has led at halftime was the eventual winner. That was the Lakers in Game 1 and Portland in Games 2 and 3. Shaquille O'Neal back onto the floor with his 3 personals to start the second half for the Lakers.
Energy will be the key here. Whichever team gets off to that quick start, whichever team can get rolling first will have a huge advantage. The Blazers have been quicker to the ball from the opening tap today, and Robert Horry, a very quiet day.
Well, let's see if Del Harris inspired his team to understand what he meant when he said we're playing for a championship and they're trying to play us next week, because the Trailblazers feel with success today, they'll have success in the first round.
Shaq with the shot clock at 7. That ball bounced out of bounds off of the Blazers. It'll be a Laker ball with 5 seconds on the shot clock. No, a new 24.
You see the size of this Blazer team. Rasheed Wallace and Clifford Robinson, 6'11", 6'10". They can cover so much space, and that shorter three-point line from a couple years ago has really helped the bigger front lines denying three-point shooting.
Now here's a guy the Lakers got to get on track. Eddie Jones, forget Shaquille O'Neal. He's going to find a way simply because of shots. Eldon Campbell tipped it in. The crowd thought it was a goaltend.
P.J. Carlissimo thinks so, too. 59-50 Blazers.
Blazers aren't going to win this game by arguing with the refs.
Sabonis outside to Ryder, back down to Sabonis for the hook. And the Lakers with a chance to get something good started here early in the second half.
With this matchup, it's overpowering in favor of Shaquille O'Neal. Wallace trying to hold him out.
Sabonis in a battle with 2 Lakers, tapped out of bounds and belongs to
They've allowed this to be a very physical game so far. O'Neal wanted a foul against Wallace and didn't get it. Kind of stood around and looked.
I don't think, Steve, that the players have done a good job in anticipation that the referees will let them get physical. They're standing around waiting for the whistle to blow.
Ryder snakes his way through. That's batted away by O'Neal. Here comes Van Exel. 3-on-3. Van Exel for Horry. Back outside to Eddie Jones. To the baseline. High shot by Eddie Jones.
And you heard the thud on the floor. That was Eddie Jones, and he was looking up at the officials, but the Lakers have scored the first 2, so Portland can't sit back. They got to energize themselves.
59-52 Portland. Cliff Robinson. Wallace high in the air and fouled as he tried to go back up by Van Exel. Let's go back to, well, defense always starts things, doesn't it, Bill?
Isaiah Ryder will get that ball on the low post and step through. When he gets in the air for the jumper, he doesn't even think that Shaq is anywhere, but Eddie Jones can finish with the best of them. Guys trying to take charges. That's not the kind of defense that wins you championships, getting in the air and sending them back. That's what this game's all about. blank. Blazers have failed to score in over 2 minutes to start this third.
Our broadcast mate, Bill Walton, receiving all kinds of kudos here 20 years ago.
20 years ago today, a great Laker team, Greg, comes into town, Portland, the last day of the regular season. Great Laker team, MVP center. Blazers just blew them out, ran them off the court. The rest is history. You're going to have Dr. J fill in the details in the studio.
Eddie Jones off the baseline, no rebound of the Lakers. Were you on that team?
They're still looking for that jersey he threw away.
I was Maurice Lucas's valet there.
Sabonis in the air, no place to go. Shaquille comes away with it. He bouncing on the end line.
What Portland can't do is pass up the obvious shot. They've done a good job of passing the basketball, but right now they're passing up some good looks at the hoop as well, trying to get a little bit closer, and they haven't scored here in the third.
10 on the shot clock. Ryder can't find room.
Well, Ryder likes the one-on-one. Campbell comes over and gives him some help, and they call a travel.
Remind you, for all the latest NBA news and notes, plus a complete playoff preview, go online to NBCSports.com. Also, this week's interactive poll question asks who should be the Rookie of the Year. Lots of great candidates: Iverson, Abdur-Rahim, Kittle, Marbury, Camby. We want to hear from you. Cast your vote at NBCSports.com. Campbell on the spin. Shaquille back to Campbell and over Sabonis. And Horry throws a little elbow at Sabonis on his way back. 59-54.
Blazers still have not scored. They desperately need a timeout. The Laker defense has been stifling. My vote for Rookie of the Year, Allen Iverson.
I don't remember asking you, Bill. 8:54 to play, third quarter. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. By Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers. And by Snickers. Not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers. Hungry? Why wait?
59-54 Portland third quarter score, and we were talking about this just a few moments ago. This year, the Portland franchise celebrating the 20th anniversary of its NBA championship. The Blazers, led by Finals MVP William Walton, defeated the 76ers in 6 games, coming back from a 2-0 deficit. The finals win gave Portland its first major sports championship. Take that jersey off and get it out of here. Just a couple of weeks ago, the members of that team reunited here at the Rose Garden to remember that Trail Blazers season. And you know, as I sit here, realizing I'm just absolutely surrounded by ex-Trailblazers. Proud memory for you guys.
A glowing weekend here for us. The current Trailblazer management, Paul Allen, Bert Cole, and Bob Whitsitt. They just gave us an absolutely perfect weekend. So much joy, so much pride. Steve, you were a big part of that team. Thanks so much.
No, I wasn't. I was there the year before when you couldn't play.
But you taught us, you taught the young guys, Bob Gross, Lionel Hollins, and myself, how to be pros. You had a huge part in that.
Rasheed Wallace to his left, puts it up with wildly. Loose ball picked off by Eddie Jones, and the Lakers with a chance to cut into that lead even more.
This will be a good test for the Trailblazers. A little adversity here at the top of the third quarter and how they respond since everything went their way in that first 24 minutes.
Batted out of bounds and belongs to the Trailblazers.
Here's the 1976 team photo.
Look at that, right off of a post office wall.
It's a nice haircut. The Blazer offense has just completely disappeared.
Yeah, what's the problem?
They're standing around. They think the Lakers are going to quit, and that is not going to happen. Tremendous pride here for Los Angeles.
You see Del Harris is over there clapping, trying to keep his team energized. What it takes for Portland is quick ball movement, player movement, and they continue to build on the scoreboard. They're up by 6, 5 on the shot clock.
Sabonis with a free trip to the basket.
Lakers defense broke down that time. They were unaware of the shot clock. Sabonis doesn't beat you with quickness over a large space usually.
Portland shot 69% from the field in the second quarter. That's their first basket in 5 attempts here in the third quarter. Campbell spins on Wallace, and he'll go to the line.
Now, for Rasheed Wallace, this is a tough time for him because it's a physical matchup. The guy that's as big, jumps as well, and really has a lower center of gravity. He's shaking his head when he starts getting distracted by the officials, the calls he doesn't get, the calls that go against him. Portland loses his game.
Campbell 2 out of 2 from the line, 16 points so far today. Make it 17.
When the lights are on for Eldon Campbell, this guy can be one of the dominating power forwards in the NBA. And all the circuits are working today. He's got the juice, and right now he's the guy that's putting the Lakers on his back to keep the game close. He's got 6 in the quarter, 18 on the afternoon.
At 21 in the win over the Clippers Friday night, well on his way to topping that so far. Kenny Anderson outside, got it. That's a 3.
Again, involving Shaq in the screen. Working off Sabonis there. Shaq is not going to step out.
And anytime you have a lead, you got to know that the opponent and a quality team like the Lakers, they're going to come back. So you got to be prepared to withstand the run. Overpowering play by Shaq. He can't get it done.
Shaq, Sabonis looking for that 4th personal call on Shaq, didn't get it.
The Blazers and both teams should stop arguing with the refs and just play ball. This is what you dream about when they don't call the fouls.
Ryder outside, Robinson top of the key, and the rebound to Jones.
Good run out defensively by Horry, forced the miss.
Go back to Shaq, and that'll be a foul on Sabonis over the back, and that's number 3 on Sabonis.
So much has been made, Greg, about Shaq's new free throw style. He's really got the rhythm here. I asked him about that 3rd personal foul there on Sabonis, and he said that for the first time in his career he was really injured and had a chance to think about his whole game. And a lot of different guys have worked with Shaq on his free throws, but basically he has spent time now dreaming and visualizing every aspect of his game, and he has come back a better player in all aspects.
You mean he dreamed his way into these free throws?
I'm a big believer that you've got to see it happen before it does. And Shaq has always had the luxury of overpowering guys. Now he's developing the skill game as Rasheed Wallace throws the big man, Eldon Campbell, to the ground.
That's 4 on Wallace.
Well, this is a tough matchup for Rasheed because he is still developing. He doesn't have the strength to deal with Eldon Campbell. They're going to get Chris Dudley in the game. That changes how their rotation goes up front. But they got to shut down Eldon Campbell right now as he's trying to keep him in the hunt.
Meanwhile, an infusion of veteran players onto the floor now for the Lakers with Kersey and Byron Scott. Van Exel looks for Scott right away.
Watch the matchup right here. Campbell against Dudley.
Shaquille, and there's a traveling violation on O'Neal, who literally threw Sabonis off the court.
Sabonis is 7'3" and pushing 300 pounds. And after Eldon Campbell misses this turnaround, a little long there.
That's what you call pushing 300 pounds. 64-56.
And a great indication of just how strong Shaq is.
And let's see if that angers Sabonis and he gets back. I mean, the way to answer that is to put some numbers on a guy and put him out of the game with fouls.
10-point lead again now for the Trailblazers.
I'm so glad that basketball fans get to see Sabonis play ball.
Eldon Campbell. You know, right now they got to put the chill on Campbell. 8 in the quarter, 20 on the afternoon, and all of them have been easy here in the top of the 3rd quarter.
But Eldon has never really been able to turn the numbers into impact, into presence, as Campbell holds them off there.
Los Angeles foul number 41.
Foul number 3 on Campbell. Let's take a look at it.
Offensive rebounding has helped the Blazers all day long. Dudley moving quicker, anticipating, and Eldon standing there and holding, grabbing.
Dudley is really a very hard worker, and if you don't keep a body on him, he's going to find a way to give the Trailblazers another shot. Scott with the foul against Ryder.
Now, Steve, you do all these Blazer games, but look how beautiful that is. You got a center, Sabonis, who can stroke the 3. He's out there feeding the point, the guard, the post up of Ryder. That's great team basketball for the Blazers.
what makes it work when they all understand it. When they don't understand it, it's a tough day at the office. Ryder, who has been a very, very interesting study the entire season, but when there's been a big game, he has risen to the occasion. This is a guy that's got tremendous offensive skills, and when he is ready to play, he can hurt you. The last 4 ball games for Ryder.
He does not come without some baggage. He brings with him quite a bit of controversy for off-court problems, and P.J. Carlesimo says when he arrived here in Portland, we wiped the slate clean, and he says, except for a couple of times being late here and there, he's done what P.J. has asked him to do.
This is a team, Greg, the Blazers, who have been able to put all their off-court problems aside and move on each and every time.
O'Neal to the baseline and a slam, and he'll draw the foul.
Now this time Sabonis does not cut down the angle, and Shaquille O'Neal showing a little quickness and a little dancing ability on the baseline. Quick first step and 2 hands.
And that's number 4 on Arvydas Sabonis.
Shaq well aware that the battering ram offense is not going to work against a strong Sabonis.
Now Sabonis has to come off the floor. They've got too many people out there right now. He wants to stay in this ball game, but 4 fouls. PJ is going to sit him down. Gary Trent in.
But I like Shaq's versatility here. You see his free throw percentage, dramatic increase. But when you're able at 7'2", 300-plus pounds like Shaq to turn and face from 18 feet and get to the hoop, make your shots, Shaq's offense on fire.
Shaq now 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Wallace with 4 personals, and so does Sabonis, and they're both sitting on the bench. As Portland tries to hold off the Lakers, Trent blocked by Campbell. Back to him, jumper out of the corner, no, rebound to Campbell. And Kersey comes away with it.
The Blazers have had none of the offensive flow in this half that we saw repeatedly in the first.
Portland lead is 7 as you see the rebound situation. Van Exel down to low to O'Neal. And over Dudley.
Nice in and out offense for the Lakers. Van Exel dumping it in. Very passive game on the offensive end for Van Exel today.
Well, the Lakers have been able to slow the Trailblazers down and get control of the tempo of the ball game, and it starts with the big people up front. Shaquille O'Neal likes to break his opponent down and spin off of him. Gets that one against Dudley.
Ryder
standing around. Late in the shot clock now.
Shot clock at 5, and a nice feed to Kenny Anderson by Cliff Robinson.
That's what they had a ton of in the first half, passing and cutting. Very little here so far. Anderson with 5 in the quarter, 7-point lead.
Coming up on 4 minutes to play in the third.
Dudley playing defense before Shaq gets the ball.
Van Exel to the baseline and then up and in. Nick Van Exel with 9 today, and it's back to a 5-point game. 3:45 to play in the third quarter. Ryder, turnaround from deep.
That's an extremely difficult shot.
Byron Scott for 3. Front rim, big rebound by Campbell.
Talked about rebounding being the key. The Lakers have narrowed the gap from a dominant Blazer first half.
Campbell is the guy. He falls down on that one, got 10 in the quarter, and has made it a 3-point ball game.
Just over 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter, and the Lakers have come back from an 11-point halftime deficit to within 3.
Laker defense is pushing the Blazers off the box down low.
Gary Trent.
This is the shot they want Gary Trent to try to make a lot of. He missed the last one, made this one, and that will be a key for Portland if he can knock that shot down and holding the Laker charge off.
72-67, Portland. Van Exel eyes O'Neal down low.
What Portland's got to do is make Shaq give the ball up and then react. If you don't do that, you're going to have problems.
Oh, Byron Scott to the basket and drew the foul. He'll be at the free throw line when we come back. 2 minutes, 36 seconds to play here in the third quarter, and Byron Scott off the bench and looking to light a fire.
Young, fresh legs. Blazers fail to clear out, and Byron Scott delivers that I got 5 years left in the NBA.
Byron Scott, number 4, pulls the Lakers close. They're within 3. .236 to play third quarter. Portland with a 72-69 lead, and Eldon Campbell 22 points on the day, 10 here in the third quarter. You see his improvement year after year.
It's been an up and down game for Eldon. Great in the first quarter, donut in the second. Now he's back in his rhythm. Terrific improvement every single season. He ties a record for scoring average increasing for the first 7 seasons. Derek Harper has the NBA record at 8 all by himself.
Of course, that presupposes some pretty awful years early on, doesn't it?
Well, you have to start poorly to get that done. But Paul Sunderland reports from that Laker bench that Shaq has really worked hard at trying to involve Eldon Campbell. So much criticism towards Eldon about being unable to play with Shaq at the same time.
Here in the third quarter, Campbell 10 points, 5 rebounds. Shaq 7 points, 3 rebounds, as the Lakers have closed to it in 2, 72-70, 2:25 to play.
All the games have been close at the end, and the Lakers defensively have gotten energy from the veterans Scott and Kersey. Kersey with another steal, and the Lakers with this possession and a chance to tie the ball game up. They're going to Shaq.
Kersey has been quick to the ball on defense today.
Poor spacing Lakers.
Shaq clears out for Campbell, who goes against Robinson. Shot clock at 3. Campbell missed the short one, flipped over.
Oh, what hands by Greg Gumbel.
Well, it was Kersey, the guy that stepped in, though. The ball was free. Kersey tried to step in, make a save, threw it to Greg. He wanted to score.
Greg reminded me of Lionel Hollins and Johnny Davis that time.
Kenny Anderson, long-range shot, no good. Lakers up in the air for the rebound, and taken away by Anderson. Comes back out. Robinson to the baseline. Hit the backboard.
Blazers look terrible offensively in the third.
Van Exel snakes his way down the lane and scoops it home. We're tied at 72. Last time this game was tied was at 2 apiece.
Lakers defense is just terrific in this third quarter. They are shutting everything down.
This is what you talk about when you say champions are made from games like this. You want a tough game, and we'll see if the Trailblazers respond. Ryder.
Steve, we talked at the open about the type of shots down the stretch. That would be the determination of the Lakers making it happen off penetration, dishing wide open shots. The Blazers trying to go one-on-one a lot here.
It's been a different game into Portland, and Kenny Anderson sprinted in that first half. They've been slowed down. They're playing from the perimeter, and they have to get back to that. Kenny Anderson working for 1 shot, 8 on the shot clock.
On them come up a half minute to play. Anderson long range for 3. Kenny Anderson with 16 on the afternoon, and Portland leads it by 3.
The numbers for the backcourt today, huge edge for the Blazers. Shaq down low.
Shaq spins to the baseline. Short jumper doesn't go. Trent.
That's where we saw Kenny Anderson in that first half. He thought he got fouled.
No call there. 1 second to go. Van Exel won't get it. Lots of action, lots of opinions on whether or not there should have been a call or not. There wasn't. Undeniable fact, Eldon Campbell led the way for the Lakers coming back. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 77-74. Back after these messages from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
PJ Carlesimo And the fans wondering why there wasn't a call a few moments ago as Kenny Anderson drove to the basket. And in fact, referee Hugh Hollins getting an earful from the fans at that end of the court. And on the replay, you'd have to say, yeah, he got more than just a little bumped.
Twice, once by Scott, a couple times by Kersey, but you got to play through that. And what Kenny Anderson has to do in the fourth quarter is expect to get hit and be able to finish, and then you take the whistle away from the official.
Look at the Lakers, 52% in the third quarter, while the Blazers fell to 37. Still no Sabonis or Rasheed Wallace on the floor for the Portland Trail Blazers as we begin the fourth.
Ryder trying to bring him back, gets to the line. A quick move by Robert Horry, and Portland will start from the free throw line, and I think free throws down in the fourth quarter are going to make the difference between winning and losing.
The Blazer backcourt outscored the Laker backcourt by a 2-to-1 margin today. It was a tough matchup for Horry, one of the most versatile defenders. When Isaiah Ryder gets you isolated one-on-one facing the basket 18 feet, watch out.
But the reason that they've had to go to Horry, Eddie Jones has not been able to handle the physical play of Ryder. So you got to put a bigger, stronger, maybe hopefully as quick a guy like Robert Horry against him.
And the interesting thing about that matchup, Steve, is that Eddie Jones is a bigger player than Isaiah Ryder, but Isaiah just punishes him.
Well, he's longer. The other guy's a lot more compact, and you notice those knots are called muscle.
4-point lead for the Trailblazers. 11.5 to play in regulation. Plenty of time to decide this one. Lakers gunning for the Pacific Division Championship and the #2 playoff position in the West. Campbell, jump hook off the baseline, doesn't fall.
You see Ryder? And one hand cuff job, gets up and pushes the other way. He's ready to play this afternoon.
I don't like the way the Blazer big men are playing their post-up defense. They got their hands in the wrong position.
Jerome Kersey responsible for yet another turnover. Byron Scott for 3 front rim. And look at Ryder behind his back and off to the races.
Well, he wants this. He's got Van Exel. He wants this, and Campbell's going to force the ball out of his hands. They need to do it quicker. Illegal defense.
Well, they spread him so far when Isaiah started backing up. Isaiah Ryder, that is. The Lakers had to stay with them. Del Harris is arguing that, hey, when you got 2 men on the ball, it takes the double team or the illegal defense rule out of the play.
And is he right?
Absolutely. Coaches are always right. Oh, nice pass. Sorry, hit you in the face.
Right in Robinson's face. Van Exel going to put it up for 3. Got it. Portland's lead is down to 1, 78-77.
Blazers not getting it done while Shaq's on the bench. Need to capitalize.
Well, if Ryder's going to go, he's got to go quicker, and the Trailblazers got to move a little bit faster. Cliff Robinson turns it over. Lakers in a sprint.
Never jump to pass.
Last Laker lead was at 13-12, not even halfway through the first quarter. They're looking for the lead here. Horry to Kersey down low. Shot clock is at 3. Kersey's got to do something. Oh, he got it.
As I said, and when it just comes to making plays and making away, Kersey's one of the best in the NBA. He gives the Lakers an advantage, and now it's up to Portland to respond.
Kersey has done it at both ends of the floor. Robinson on the drive and got it. 80-79 Blazers.
The Blazers are not getting the perfect performance out of their forwards that they need tonight. Good play that time by Robinson, but by and large, Robinson, Wallace, and Trent have not been sharp today.
8 on the shot clock.
Campbell gives the Lakers the lead, 81-80. Shaquille O'Neal ready to come in at the next whistle. 24 for Eldon Campbell.
But notice the pace of the game has slowed down enough to where a lot of the size and strength of the Lakers with Portland in foul trouble has taken place. They double-team Ryder.
Gary Trent open.
There's Horry running out on the defense again.
And there's Jerome Kersey up for the rebound.
But that's a shot that Trent is not going to consistently knock down. They're going to gamble that he can't make that shot. He's only made one this afternoon.
Horry on the move, left-handed layup, no. Batted around, out of bounds to the Lakers. Cliff Robinson looking for his ticket stub. 8:33 to play in regulation. Lakers by 1.
Miller Genuine Draft presents a classic moment of the NBA at 50.
And today, a look at Shaquille O'Neal, drafted #1 5 years ago. Shaq averaged more than 27 points a game with the Magic. Signed by the Lakers last summer, Shaq provided his most electric moment as a Laker last week. Shaquille fadeaway. That bucket gave the Lakers a 2-point win over the Jazz last Sunday. Shaquille O'Neal, the youngest player named to the NBA's 50 greatest players list. In recognition of this classic moment, Miller Beer will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. And this game has every bit of the earmark of what the game last Sunday had, the back-and-forth nature of the game between Utah and the Lakers last week.
And you head right down to the wire. The Lakers in control here. Shaq, good numbers. Sabonis limited by playing time through fouls. The Blazers, though, have more turnovers this quarter than shot attempts.
Sabonis back on the floor for the Blazers. He left the game 5 minutes remaining in the third. Portland had an 8-point lead at the time. Shaquille.
They do a good job of moving him in and rubbing him off. He throws it down his first 2 of the fourth. But the playoffs are about will, and the Trailblazers and Lakers both trying to show their will in this ball game. Kenny Anderson gets fouled.
Let's go back to Shaq and the Lakers getting the basketball to him where he needs it the most.
But notice a screen, a back screen, and that's what frees him. Gets that one step and then the hammer. And they probably ought to think about doing that more often.
Kenny Anderson to the free throw line. And there's his mom, Joan Anderson, watching him play in person for the first time this season. And is not going to be shy about supporting her son. Lakers by 1, 18 for Anderson.
I like what the Lakers have done. They're trying to get Shaq the ball on the move now rather than the stand around battering ram offense.
Shaq up and under, doesn't fall for him. He hits the deck, loose ball to Wallace. And now the Blazers back looking for the lead.
Stacey Osman has snuck in the ball game, giving Ryder a little bit of rest, and also should energize the Trailblazers defensively. Sabonis deep.
With the hook. Doesn't fall. Tapped in by Robinson. Del Harris wants some interference. He doesn't get the call. 84-83 Portland.
The Blazers are going to win this game. They're going to need a better fourth quarter from Rasheed Wallace than they've got throughout the game today.
Around and out from Van Exel. Kersey with another steal.
Only Jerome Kersey can do these things, really. I mean, he doesn't quit on the play. Wallace had the ball. Kersey hanging around, pokes it away. Lakers get another chance at it. They'll come to O'Neal.
Under 7 minutes to play in regulation. Van Exel back outside. Byron Scott. Van Exel on the drive. And shot clock expired. Now the Lakers say that it hit and should have gotten the new 24. Meanwhile, the Trailblazers call timeout while the Lakers press their case. Jerome Kersey has 5 steals on the day. We're coming back after this.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by the Schick Tracer FX, designed for sensitive skin. By the reliable and dependable 97 Mitsubishi Galant, built for living. And by Miller Genuine Draft, who reminds you it's time for better beer breath.
6:48 to play in regulation. The Lakers debating the call last time down the court. Here's the play, Steve.
The play broke down, and at the end they tried to hoist it up from Byron Scott, but that's not the shot. The Van Exel drive is the one that just missed the rim. He mails it over the other side of the rim, doesn't touch anything, and then it's a shot clock violation before Byron Scott can get his away.
All those long rebounds are going the Lakers' way in the second half. Your leading scorers, Eldon Campbell, put the numbers up. Again, the backcourt, Anderson and Ryder, have been dominant for the Blazers.
84-83. Blazers with the ball in a 1-point lead.
Now, if you're playing against Jerome Kersey, you got to do what Kenny Anderson just did. Make a decision. If you're indecisive, he gets the edge. Even though Anderson doesn't get the shot, he made the right decision. Van Exel coming back for the Lakers.
Van Exel goes to Campbell. Gets inside on his man, gets the bucket and the foul.
Horrible mismatch. The switching defense for the Blazers isolates J.R. Ryder on the dominant Eldon Campbell here. Nothing J.R. could do.
In the first half, it was Portland taking advantage of the mismatches, making the right decision. It's been the Lakers here in the second half. Eldon Campbell hoisting him on his back has got them a 1-point lead, trying to make it 2 with 6:19 to go. A ton of time, and really, as I said earlier, this is a test of will right now. Who wants this ball game?
5 for 5 from the free throw line, 27 points for Eldon Campbell. 86-84 Lakers. Wallace turns quickly on Campbell, doesn't get the shot to fall. Loose ball picked off by the Lakers. Sabonis hits the deck.
They got a little help from Jack Steele, Cliff Robinson, but they can't control the ball.
Van Exel calls for the basketball. Shot clock is at 10. The lob for O'Neal.
They put that ball on the money so perfectly. Shaq doesn't even see it. He just wheels, spins. Impossible play to defend.
And now the Lakers with their biggest lead of the day at 88-84. Kenny Anderson on the move, goes reverse. No, Kersey there for the rebound.
Kersey has been the man on the defensive end, stealing the ball. If the Blazers do get a shot, Kersey gobbles up all the misses.
Jerome Kersey has been amazing to watch this afternoon, and a timeout on the floor.
20-second timeout. Lakers.
The real key to the lob is whether the passer has any pressure. Van Exel gets a clean look, so he's going to be able to spot where he wants to leave it for Shaq. Shaq is just going to try to catch and finish.
Granted, Shaq is the best big man in history at that reverse spin, going for the lob, but it boggles my mind that you would ever let Shaq get into that position. He's never going to miss those. You got to make him receive stepping away from the basket.
The Portland Trail Blazers on the verge of their 15th consecutive playoff appearance. That is an NBA best.
And stepping into the playoffs, they would like to bring a victory. So they got 5:15 to get it done. And the real challenge right now is to play basketball, to play through some adversity, and we'll find out whether they're up to it. The Lakers did it after the intermission. They have responded.
Shaquille spins, got it.
Perfect execution on the offensive end for the Lakers, and Shaq, you just saw him turned and face, spun. You can't do it any better than that, Greg.
6-point lead for L.A.
Del Harris is into the game now. He's over there clapping and yelling and screaming. Different coach, different half. Ryder.
Forced to double pump. Sabonis follows. Arvydas Sabonis. He has 11. 90-86 Lakers. Van Exel back to O'Neal. Shot clock is at 5 now, and O'Neal further away from the basket. He'd like Jerome Kersey with the outside jumper.
Well, that was a little bit of fatigue that time by O'Neal and the Lakers, and if the Trailblazers can sense it, they should quickly get to the other end of the floor, start moving the ball a little bit quicker.
Sabonis on the drive. Follows, and he'll go to the line. Somewhere along the line, some coach grabbed Arvydas Sabonis and said, go over on the side and work on your bulk. And it worked.
I first saw Sabonis when he was 19 years old. He's in his early 30s now. He was the same size at 7'3", but he's about 80 or 90 pounds heavier right now. And he still looks svelte and thin next to Shaq.
Now that is a fourth personal against Shaquille O'Neal. That evens thing up between the centers. They both have 4 personal fouls, but I like what Sabonis did. He's taken this matchup between himself and O'Neal a little personal. He tried to score that last time, gets the foul.
90-88 with 4 minutes to play.
There's great pride between Shaq and Sabonis. And these guys want to establish themselves as the game's premier big men.
Portland with a 3-game winning streak. The Lakers with a 4-game streak. Campbell on Wallace. Out to Ryder. Ryder.
Oh, that's
and fouled by Jerome Kersey.
That's a very tough call. Traveling or offensive foul would have been a better call here. That's a bailout by the referees.
Del Harris is beside himself. Take a look.
Ryder caught up in the air. Offensive foul. Easy play to call.
Del Harris said, no.
Well, you got to play through. Both teams have had what they can complain about, and it's up to the player to make good decisions. Sabonis.
For 3. 91-90. Blazers. Blazers have scored the last 7 points. Shaquille spins in the lane. Shot doesn't count. And the foul is on Rasheed Wallace.
I believe it's on Clifford Robinson.
It is on Robinson, it is. That's 3 on Cliff Robinson.
Wallace put his hand up. What they wanted to do was keep Shaq off the line. They accomplished that. The Lakers will get a new 24.
And we're going to take time here with 3:05 to play in regulation. It's your basic barn burner. Portland by 1.
Doubleheader next Saturday, tripleheader next Sunday on NBC.
It's the kind of game and the kind of atmosphere that gets you set for the playoffs. And next weekend, NBA playoff action begins on NBC. Saturday, a playoff doubleheader beginning with NBA Showtime at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Then Sunday, a blockbuster triple helping of playoff action starts with NBA Showtime at 12 noon with all the latest NBA news and previews of the day's matchups. Then 3 great NBA playoff games. The NBA playoffs starting next weekend here on NBC. Shaquille O'Neal and Eldon Campbell have literally carried the Lakers today. They have the ball. They trail by 1, coming up on 3 minutes to play in regulation.
Full shot clock. Lakers can't take advantage. Numbers for the Blazers.
Anderson to Robinson. Blocked by Kersey. And a whistle on the play.
And look at the lineup that B.J. Carlissimo comes with now. For defense, Rasheed Wallace on the bench. Dudley in for him. But when Kenny Anderson's coming at you, not much you can do. Clifford Robinson gets in the air and double clutches. That looks like all ball.
That looks like an awfully good block by Jerome Kersey. Cliff Robinson, 2 out of 2 from the line so far today. Makes it 3 for 3. And a 2-point lead for Portland.
Earlier in his career, a play against the Lakers really kind of set the tone for Cliff Robinson under pressure. He dropped the ball in the forearm. Portland could have won that game. He never had a chance to recover. Trying to do so this afternoon. 2 big free throws.
9-0 run for the Blazers. A Portland win gives Seattle the Pacific Division Championship. Shaquille to the basket. And a Portland win also gives the Blazers a first-round date with the Lakers.
The Blazers' big men are defending Laker post-up play with their forearm in the back. You got to play with your hands at shoulder-high position and not let them turn and spin on you.
Sabonis has 7 in the quarter, and Shaquille O'Neal has 8. 7 on the shot clock for the Trailblazers.
Ryder with the shot clock at 1. Got it! 20 for Isaiah Ryder. 95-92, under 2 minutes to play.
Go-to players who can deliver, get their own shot with the game on the line. That's what wins championships.
Shaq across the lane, over Sabonis, doesn't fall, loose ball, batted around, picked off by Ryder.
Got to get out of the corner.
And he called timeout before going out of bounds. It is a 20-second timeout. Let's go back to Isaiah Ryder's shot at the other end.
At the outset, we talked about the type of shot that would win this game. When you have players who can deliver one-on-one, Eddie Jones, a serious all-league, all-defensive player for the Lakers. That's in your face for money for Isaiah Ryder.
You see J.R. Ryder, he jumped like a high school kid.
Well, Ryder and Eddie Jones have really been the defining difference in the series. And for Portland, Ryder has been able to make those kinds of shots. Eddie Jones has not been able to shut them down. We talked about that at the outset. And Isaiah Ryder here today, wanting this game, wanting to make a statement.
Here is a big problem for Del Harris. Should these teams meet in the first round of the playoffs, Del Harris has to find a way to get Eddie Jones to break free against this Portland team.
Well, become a whippet. Run, 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 run. But don't try to play a power game if you're not a power player. Ryder is a power player, and he's playing powerful this afternoon.
A minute 35 remaining in regulation. Portland with the ball and a 3-point lead.
A short shot clock because they wasted 4 or 5 seconds before they even called the timeout.
Sabonis. And Kersey with another steal.
You got to keep the ball away from Jerome Kersey. I mean, he is a guy throughout his entire career that's had a nose for the ball. They're going to come back to Shaq in pass situations. You foul Shaq right now. See if he can make it.
Coming up on a minute to play. O'Neal, short hook, no, followed by Campbell.
Shaq slow getting up the court.
29 for Eldon Campbell. 1-point game, 55 seconds to play.
I'd come back to J.R. Ryder.
Sabonis. Robinson with the shot clock at 6. Wallace turn around there. Regulation. Portland by 3. Lakers will have the basketball. Again, a reminder, what's at stake? A Laker victory means the Pacific Division Championship. Their first since the 89-90 season and their 16th overall. A Portland victory means a Seattle divisional title and a first-round date with the Lakers in the playoffs.
Trailblazers have a foul to give, and they can use it. And when you have a foul to give, you got to really do it judiciously. Just don't give it because you get in trouble.
Horry into the lane, to the left hand, doesn't fall. Sabonis, big rebound. He's got the ball. And the timeout called and awarded to the Lakers.
No, they are not calling a timeout here. They're giving this ball.
They are. It is awarded to the Lakers. What an incredible play by Eddie Jones.
Notice the distance that he comes now. Sabonis had it, wanted to get rid of it, tried to find Ryder. Eddie Jones coming from out of nowhere to make the steal to give the Lakers one more chance.
The strength in the hands of Sabonis has been magnificent today. Unfortunately here, he's not able to step through and deliver this pass.
Should have hung on to it.
Absolutely, he's a great free throw shooter.
But here's where Portland has
should have taken the foul?
Sabonis should have held onto the ball.
I counted 3 times Sabonis was fouled, and there was no whistle in that exchange. Meanwhile, Eddie Jones is a master theft.
If Eddie Jones could have played like this the entire game, maybe he would have shut down J.R. Ryder. He's been amongst the league leaders, but that's a huge play to give the Lakers at least a tying opportunity. Portland with the foul to give. Now is the time to think about using that foul, and if they're going to shoot it, think about shooting a three-pointer. Foul of possession is everything for the Trailblazers.
You know, by all rights, a ticket to a Portland Laker playoff game should be big time because the first contest went to overtime. The Lakers won it 120-119. Portland won 88-84, and Portland beat the Lakers again 102-98.
Well, how about a Blazer strategy of just fouling the Lakers early? Put them on the line for 2 free throws, and then you get the ball back, and you're in control of your destiny. You don't let them have a chance to tie it with a three-pointer.
Well, you've got 23.7. The Lakers have got to have 2 scores in order to win the game, or 1 to tie it up. But you do have the foul to give, and you got to force that on the Lakers. See, the Lakers are going to try to come to Shaq, and before they get there, if you make them use enough time, now that's when you want to give the foul.
But the Blazers have got to stay at home on the three-point shot. I mean, no point coming down and double-teaming Shaq here.
Every Portland starter averages double figures. Every Portland starter has scored in double figures today. 23.7 on the game clock. 97-94 Portland. Lakers come back onto the floor with Van Exel, Jones, O'Neal, Byron Scott, and Robert Horry.
And Mitchell Butler coming in the ball game because Scott comes in. Chris Dudley will sit down.
So Scott, the three-point specialist, the Lakers are 3 of 10 from behind the arc so far this afternoon.
Referees arguing about the time on the clock here.
Well, I don't know if they're arguing. They may be having a discussion.
If they weren't arguing, they would have already had it settled.
So we'll get a visit to the scoring table. And 23 seconds has been put on the shot clock. 23.7 on the game clock, 23 on the shot clock.
Nice to be in an arena that doesn't pump artificial music through the PA.
Well, here is a chance that used to be rampant during the 80s, early 90s, beat LA. LA has not been in a position to hear this thrown at them for some time, trying to tie the ball game up.
Lakers with 1 timeout remaining. To Shaq.
Terrific defense there by Sabonis. Still with there's that foul to give that Steve was mentioning. No chance for Shaq to get a three-point play.
And that's the 5th personal on Arvydas Sabonis.
Which only comes to play now if it's overtime. Here's where you foul, I think, make him shoot 2 free throws, then you get the ball back.
Well, this is the most dangerous guy out there. Shaq on the follow, but Portland now with 7-7. They got to get the ball in. O'Neal fouls.
And O'Neal fouls Cliff Robinson. That's 5 on Shaq.
Now this is where championship caliber teams know that you step to the line and make free throws and just ice it.
Cliff Robinson has always been a guy that's wanted to be in this situation, has never delivered. This is his chance to come up with 1 big free throw. That's all they need is 1 for sure. 2 gives them the game and puts all of the pressure on the Lakers.
Clifford Robinson 4 for 4 from the line so far today. A 69% shooter for the season from the line.
Lakers have just 1 timeout.
And Del Harris is going to want it after this shot no matter what. Cliff Robinson turns and walks away.
Good move by Cliff Robinson to just try to calm himself, and now just go into your routine. Go automatic. Don't think about the situation, and make the free throw.
Timeout Lakers, and a 2-point lead. Those of you who have been watching the Houston Rockets at San Antonio, we welcome you to the Rose Garden in Portland, Oregon. Here's our situation. Timeout on the floor, 6.9 seconds to play in regulation. When we come back, the Lakers will have the basketball. Portland leads it 98-96, and it's been a seesaw game from top to bottom.
There is no question. Now, in past games, you foul Shaquille O'Neal. When they throw him the ball, you put him on the line, he misses two, you win the game. His free throwing is better, but you still should take a chance. If you think that he's too close and going to throw it down, put him on the line, make him experience what Cliff Robinson just experienced.
Shaq has always been a big moment free throw shooter. Percentages have not been there over the course of the game or the season, but he knocks down the game winners. I think the key for the Blazers defensively here is to control the Lakers, make them take a ton of time off the clock to get the ball into any sort of offensive position so they don't get a good look at it, and they're beating the clock with only 6.9 left.
Well, the Lakers have to give themselves 2 cracks at tying or winning the ball game, so whatever they do, they've got to do it quickly. And again, the key has always been Shaquille O'Neal, and the Trailblazers, have to defend him singularly and keep the cutters from flashing to the basket.
For those in our audience who have just joined us, a Laker victory gives Los Angeles the Pacific Division Championship and the #2 playoff spot in the West. They would go up against the #17 Phoenix Suns. Meanwhile, if the Portland Trailblazers should win this game, then Portland will meet the Lakers. We welcome those of you who watched the Washington Bullets qualify for the postseason with an 85-81 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers. We have 6.9 to play in regulation. The Lakers trailing Portland 98-96. They have the basketball. Eddie Jones will inbound. And J.R. Ryder will draw the delay of game warning.
They've made a defensive switch here. Portland, Sabonis on the bench, Dudley guarding Shaq.
Jones for Van Exel. 2 to tie, 3 to win. Van Exel on the drive, lays it off. Shaq fouled underneath with 1.2 to play.
It's a great drive by Van Exel to break down the Trailblazer defense. Squeezes in, and he knows that Shaq is laying on the baseline. Cliff Robinson grits him from the rear.
If I'm Portland right now, as Del Harris wishing it home, Portland's got 3 timeouts left. Take one right now. Let Shaq think about it. Take all of them. Let him get ice cold up there, but he's got to make both.
We've talked about the turnaround in Shaq's free throw since he's been back from the injured list. He is 2 out of 3 today, and Portland is going to take a timeout right here.
The good free throwers you don't ice. The bad ones can be frozen.
But Shaquille O'Neal, since coming back in the 4 games since he's returned, you see it right there, 31 of 44 for a 70.5% rating. That's in stark contrast to his season's mark, but he has been very, very good from the free throw line, and he's 2 of 3 from there today.
Only 3 free throws, not a lot of rhythm up there, not a comfort zone to be in. The Blazers let him get all set up right now, give him the ball, and then call another timeout. Send him back, sit down over there, and keep thinking about it and thinking about it. All the Blazers need is 1 miss to hold on here, but that's what they pay the big man Shaq the big dough for deliver.
For the second week in a row, it's Shaquille at crunch time, although in a much different manner this week.
But, you know, they paid him to dunk the basketball.
Well, last week, at the end of the line, it was the bounce to Shaquille O'Neal with the score tied against Utah and time running down. And Shaq spun to the baseline, and despite the double team, hit the game winner at the buzzer to give the Lakers the 100-98 win over Utah.
And that's the first game winner in his career. So he's in a tying situation right here, but again, his history says he's not a great free thrower. He has not gobbled up pressure from the free throw line. I would put him there and dare him to make the free throw.
Oh, when you're ahead all the time, you're not going to have chances for game winners, Steve.
Shaquille, 24 points today. Eldon Campbell, 29. They have combined for 55% of the Lakers' points on the board. Lakers win, they win the Pacific Division Championship. Portland wins, the Seattle Sonics are champions of the Pacific, and Portland gets the Lakers in the first round of the postseason. Shaq has 10 points here in the fourth quarter.
You got to box out. I don't know why Portland's saving their other timeout here.
Not even close.
Now he's got to miss. Now if you're the Blazers, you just throw it out of there. Don't try to control it. Just tap it off and throw your shirt in the crowd and run out of here.
No timeouts left for the Lakers. Portland has 2.
Well, all the Trailblazers trying to stay in front of Lakers so that there's no miss that can be caught and put back in.
Isaiah Ryder cannot be inside the three-point line here.
You never see guards boxing out guards on free throws, but they want to make sure that nobody gets a running start so that they can catch a miss.
But here the defensive man gets the first position.
Robinson with the rebound, and the Blazers have won it.
They're going to put more time back on this clock, Greg. But the Blazers think they got this one in control.
.7 is being put back on the clock. 0.7 of a second.
And if you're the Blazers here, I think you miss the second free throw here. Really? When you're laughing at me once again, Greg.
Well, this time he's right because time runs out. But Cliff Robinson with a huge rebound, cups it, holds it. They think that the game is over. There's 7/10 left. There is a foul called, and Robinson will be the guy who's shooting the free throws. The Lakers have all left.
Lakers don't have a timeout either.
And they had come out. They have to come back out on the floor.
Lakers don't have a bench.
Do they have 5 people yet? 1, 2, 3, 3.
Meanwhile, there is celebration in Seattle because by virtue of this defeat, the Sonics are Pacific Division champions.
And the Blazers did what they wanted today.
Bill, if you could get a Laker jersey on, we're having a hard time putting 5 Lakers on the floor.
Question is, are the Lakers just going to put 5 guys out there, or they're going to put their real guys out there?
Campbell and Shaq.
The instructions from Carlissimo to Cliff Robinson, make them both. Don't miss them, make them both.
No timeouts. 0.9 seconds. They're putting Sean Rooks in there. The Lakers have conceded.
Well, it's a catch-and-shoot situation for the Lakers, and they got to go 94 feet, so they would need a little luck. Now, we saw the $100,000 shot made.
This gives Portland a 3-1 edge against the Lakers in the regular season and a huge psychological edge going into the postseason. Robinson gets them both. Campbell's 29 points in defeat. Isaiah Ryder 20 points in victory. 100-96. The Trailblazers win it. Let's go over to Paul Sunderland. Paul.
Kenny, you win the season series, and you get your wish. The Lakers next Friday starting in the Western Conference playoffs. Must have some confidence after a big win like this.
We got some confidence, but we got to do a lot of work. Playoff is coming. You know, we're 0-0 now. We're going down there. They got home court advantage. Still got Shaq. They got a great team. We respect them, but we come out and play hard against them every time we play, so it's going to be exciting.
All right, let's go back to Greg.
All right, Paul, once again, our final score, Portland 100, the Lakers 96. For Paul Sunderland, Steve Jones, Bill Walton, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us. The playoffs are next. Let's take you to Hannah Storm in New York for a look at next weekend's playoff lineup. Hannah.
Thanks a lot, Greg, and what a tremendous end to the regular season. Now here's the playoff lineup for next weekend on NBC. A doubleheader on Saturday with NBA Showtime at 12:30 Eastern. Our early game is Minnesota at Houston. That will be followed by either Detroit or Charlotte at Madison Square Garden to play the Knicks. On Sunday, we've got a triple header starting at noon Eastern Time. The early game is Orlando at Miami. Then the Lakers will host the Portland Trail Blazers in the middle game. Finally, we wind up in Chicago. The defending champions host the Washington Bullets. Tip-off for the final game is 5:30 Eastern Time. Tonight on NBC, the lineup is Dateline Sunday, Third Rock from the Sun, and then Boston Common. For all of us at NBC, I'm Hannah Storm. See you next weekend for the NBA playoffs on NBC.
The NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, Notre Dame football, the PGA Tour, Wimbledon, the USGA Championships, and the 2000 and 2002 Olympic Games, all on America's sports leader, NBC.